Welcome back to Hot Water Wrestling, on with the summer reviews. And here is Dark Shadows, the Tim Burton film starring Johnny Depp. Anyways, this movie came out a week after The Avengers and was a box office bomb. Okay? You know why? Because everyone told their friends about The Avengers and people went to see The Avengers. They didn't go see Dark Shadows. And also, the trailers for Dark Shadows, the advertisements we saw, made the movie look kind of like a goofy slapstick comedy. And it made it look like we're going to see Johnny Depp in a role we've seen him in before, a la Captain Jack Sparrow, a la Willy Wonka. Well, some of that is true, but a lot of it isn't. This movie is way better than what the trailers would lead you to believe. I'll say first and foremost, if you're a big fan of Tim Burton's films, especially his earlier work in Beetlejuice, in Edward Scissorhands, even the early Batmans, Mars Attacks, movies like that, Nightmare Before Christmas. I know he didn't direct Nightmare, but he wrote and produced it and had a big hand in it. If you're a big Tim Burton fan, then by all means you should go see Dark Shadows, because I have not been happy with the last few Tim Burton movies. I didn't love Sweeney Todd. It was impeccably done, but I never liked the play to begin with. I was actually in theater as a kid, and I had to do Sweeney Todd a few times. I just never liked Sweeney Todd. I never liked the music. So I'm a little biased there, but the film was well done. Very bloody and gory, but well done, I suppose. But I did not like Alice in Wonderland one bit. Basically because of the liberties it took on the original story. It just kind of was weird. It should have been billed more as a sequel. It was kind of like a remake, but not a remake, because it was a sequel and she was older, and they changed to where she like goes to war with a sword and all this. It was just a little much. So I didn't like that. Obviously, Planet of the Apes was bad, really bad. But this movie reminded me of the old school Tim Burton. And Johnny Depp, despite, yes, being cast in a lot of roles like this, was able to actually provide a fresh spin on this character, Barnabas Collins. It was kind of a new thing. That's all I can really say is that I'm kind of losing my train of thought, but yeah, is that you'll be surprised as a Johnny Depp fan how well he actually does do in this movie. This movie is very well acted by everyone involved. I think her name's Chloe Mortez. Excuse me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Chloe Grace Mortez. She was in the movie Let Me In. She was also in the movie Kick-Ass. She does a really fantastic job in this film. So does Eva Green. Great job. Helena Bonham Carter and Michelle Pfeiffer. Great job. The sets, the costumes are impeccably done. And like I said, this movie is a little better than what you would be led to believe through the trailers that are on television. Like, it makes it look more like a goofy comedy. But this is more kind of like an obscure, sort of fish out of water, dark comedy that has a little more meat and substance to it than the trailers would lead you to believe. So if you like the imagination of Tim Burton and you like these kind of weird, strange, gothy movies, then I highly recommend giving Dark Shadows a chance and not listening to everybody out there. I'm going to give this 3.5 stars out of 5. I enjoyed Dark Shadows very much. I had a buddy of mine who actually worked on the movie. That's why I have this Collinsport, Maine t-shirt that he sent to me. And I'm not just being biased because of that. No, I really did enjoy the movie. Loved it. Saw it opening night. And so give this one a chance. Again, if you like this kind of thing, you will surely love Dark Shadows. And I guess I did not mention the source material of Dark Shadows. How can I do a review without mentioning the source material? It was a late 60s, early 70s, I believe, sort of vampire soap opera. I had never seen the original Dark Shadows. I still have not ever seen the original Dark Shadows. This film is kind of loosely based on that. A lot of the fans from that era who were fans of the original did not like Dark Shadows for lots of reasons. So I just wanted to point that out. If there's some old school fans watching this, they're going to be like, what are you talking about? Well, I don't know what I'm talking about, and that's kind of the point. If you're not really familiar with the original Dark Shadows, you're really going to like this a lot more, obviously. And it doesn't, to me, make it any really less of a movie. You know, a lot of times, you know, obviously I got on Tim Burton's case for Alice in Wonderland and altering the source material there because obviously I'm familiar with it. But in this case, this was just a, you know, it's not Alice in Wonderland. It's like a beloved worldwide fairy tale that's been around for, you know, 75 years, maybe 100 years, you know, that we all grew up on. You know, Dark Shadows, I had never heard, and I'm a big horror fan, vampire fan, I had never heard of this TV show, this soap opera. So, and from what I understand, it's nothing like this film. So he basically just, you know, kind of based it off these characters. You know, it's like it's like Beetlejuice meets the Addams Family meets Austin Powers. Yes, Austin Powers, because he dies in the 17th century and then comes back in our time, which is actually, the film takes place in the mid 70s. And, you know, he's kind of like, doesn't know how anything works or whatever, kind of like how when Austin Powers came back. So again, I hate to ramble so much in this. I give this movie 3.5 stars. I think it's very funny. I think you should check out Dark Shadows.